What's up, guys? It's Dave. I'm going to go through my green list for this week. That's if the market wants to bounce and turn around. I think futures are green right now, which is great, I suppose. But you never know until real trading hours. So we'll see. All right, first on deck is Axon. We could have a potential double bottom here around this 480-ish level. It just has to break. I think I have this at an alert at, let's call it 580 easy. We do have a downtrending 50 SMA coming in. That price has to kind of clear. I got a lot of anchor VWAPs on here. Sorry, I need to clean this up, I suppose. The anchor VWAP from earnings gap is also above this green line at 594. So it has some things to clear above. However, I would, what is that white line? There we go. It bounced up to 200 SMA too. So I would like, with it moving a few, it moved 21%. I wouldn't mind a little pullback to set a higher low somewhere within this range, but typically you don't diddle in the middle. But pulling back to set a higher low, risking it here could be a potential play. BJ's wholesale, that is, has a nice little base going here. And I am curious on how price responds to this level here. You can see nice little base, retested it, pulled back, create a higher low versus these, and it's now rounding up. So I do think, BJ, if you guys are in the mood for longs in this market, I'm not. That could be a potential decent one though. BRKB, Berkshire Hathaway. Breakout, retest, strong push off, tag of the 200 SMA like damn near perfectly. And now it is breaking out of this like inside day here, closed above this. So looking interesting, looks like it wants to retest 539. Bros, this is still downtrending. This could potentially set up. I guess this is more of my neutral. I'm going to turn this into my neutral. Why? Because downtrend line hasn't broken it yet. Still has a 50 SMA, 10, 20 EMAs are still trending downwards. Yes, it tagged the 200, but I think it has to put in some sort of higher low. Maybe this is it. I don't know. I'd like it to have a little bit more time though. I'm going to put that on my blue list. My blue list is my neutral list. COHR at its like near its highs, right? Look above, failed out of this zone, tagged the opposite end, undercut these lows, failed to move lower, and now the opposite end of target end range is target, and it is now hitting that. So we'll see. Super choppy, but we'll see how that sets up. CHKP, we had a nice little gap fill here, and now it is coming back into this range, looking like it wants to set up over the next few days, maybe a couple of weeks, but it's staying strong, could be actionable, especially with the shorter term EMAs there. CNP, nice uptrend, pull back to the 20 EMA, little undercut actually of it, but undercut and reclaim of it. Looking for a break of the 3692 high for a test of 3770. It really has to break out, but it does look decent, especially because, excuse me, I keep yawning, especially because it just broke out of this sideways consolidation, broke out, retest, and now grinding higher. So it did create a lower low here. It might be running out of steam. That could be our first sign, but we shall see. CVNA getting tight here. It continues to hold this 175 to 160-ish level, undercut of that level, and then popped up. So we do have no, it's not quite a double inside day. Friday did dip below Thursday's low. Close, but not quite. Either way, we do have a declining 50 SMA above. I need a little bit more confidence in this stuff. I'm going to put that on my neutral list just because I only want names that I'd be confident in entering. I'm going to put X on my neutral. I'd be confident in that. I'd be confident in that. I'll put that in my neutral. CHKP. I feel like that needs to work. CNP, I'm confident in that. Dash, whoa. This is a trade review that I did not clean up. My bad. Still below the 50 SMA. Looks like it's trying to clean up here. Could be a higher low. I do like the double inside days. So a lot of these, I'm looking at double inside days. There's quite a few of them. And Dash is one of them. You'll see, even with CNP double inside day, I think 36.65. Ah, 1 penny above. Technically it's not, but close enough by 1 cent. D-Dog looking, this is downtrending. I put this on here because of the exemption tariff news. However, that seemed to be undone. So I'm no longer interested in that as a long. Come on now, load up. Been having internet issues. This is not fun. Sorry, hang on, let me reload that. Basically what I do is I have a master list and I go through that master list every week and see how things are setting up. Duolingo looks like it's chopping around. Could be potential buy this week with a break and hold above that 50 SMA. Plus it has these levels of hold here. So Duo, I think it could be possible. Gilead, double inside day here, trying to look like it's trying to turn around. However, things are trending downwards. I do like the breakout and retest setup here, basically here. So an interesting spot to buy. I would like a little bit of chop. I'll move that to neutral. GRAL. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Just close everything. Back. I'm just gonna reload it, sorry. GRAL. Go back to my hollow candles, so you guys like that. Again, chopping, it has a nice little base here. Here's the 200 SMA. It's kind of funny. It's hitting it. Chopping, respecting it. It's the first view, like last week it created. Breakout, retest type look. Weakness is down. It could pump up, but if we put in an anchor VWAP here, it rejected it up here. So maybe we get a little bounce. It'd be a wild bounce. It's another double inside day, right? So I'm kind of watching these double inside days. Grinder, it's just grinding sideways, could be actionable. I'm gonna put that in my neutral, not my favorite. Groupon, looking like it wants to break out. If you zoom out here, we can see that, especially on the weekly, it looks like it's trying to break this consolidation here, but we shall see what actually. Put the supply area there, what'll actually happen. But it's bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, so I do like this one. HIMS, this looks like it could get interesting soon on the daily. It's starting to form a little base. I would like it to chop around a little bit more than like start curling up like a little cup, but it is at an interesting area. So HIMS has a decent potential, especially as it just gets real tight from last week from a lot of chopping. So Hood, strong move up. This move, I think I measured it the other day, is like 50 some percent, 47% from these lows in how many days? 7 days. 5 trading days. Okay. That's a lot. So I don't want to chase this. I do think a healthy pullback would be nice, maybe into this 37-ish area. I do think that is setting up though. INTC looking interesting. There is a lot of drawings on here. Let me clean that up. INTC looks interesting in this level here, especially as it wants to, if it wants to undercut this level and then accept back above it, it could just be sticking in range. So this could be a range play. If it fails to move lower, we can have a fast move up to 25. So that would be like a look below and fail and oopsies type trade there. KO, chopping sideways, but looking like it could break out. It's a little extended though. KTOS, at least it's above other shorter term things, excuse me. Lemonade hitting off the 200. Now it does have all the supply overhead. So I don't know. I just like because it's at the 200. I'm going to put that as a neutral. MCK, breakout, retest, moving higher. I do like MCK higher. It kind of looks like it wants to retest those high at 728. Again, I'm just going through these to be prepared. I'm not a super fan of longs right now. I don't have a lot of confidence in them. So I am going to be very picky if I choose to do so. And if I do choose to do so, I will be out quickly as well. Here we go. This is an obvious level of support around 241 to 233. All right, so it's kind of chopping, consolidating sideways. I would like for things to start turning upwards, but it's just indecision. So I'll say MSTR has potential this week. NDM, this thing has been wicked. Breakout, sharp pullback on the retest. Above shorter term MAs, this is a decent look. I do like PLTR. Zooming in, we also have another double inside day. PLTR here. And I know I deleted all this stuff. Just didn't save. Looking at Anchor VWAPs and all this stuff. These are from trades as well. This ended up not being a higher low, obviously. It came all the way down here. I wish I bought more down here. I've been collecting around like 80s and sub 80s. I would like one more dip so I can buy more. But I might just have to close out my full position. And when, if it wants to find some sort of supply at some point in time. But PLTR does look like it's shaping up for a decent long. Porch, I'm looking at this on the long term. Nice base break and retest here, and now it's coming back to retest it. I'm watching to see if it wants to hold this level here, where it kind of like had a little basing in here. So it's a little, I'd say this $5 level, which it looks like it wants to create a higher low versus this 360. And so this has potential, I think. We just got to let these shorter term MAs kind of start flattening, I think. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Come on, man. Root. I'm not annoyed, you're annoyed. Root, Scoot, and Boogie. This is, let me hide all this crap. Potentially setting a higher low here. This does look bear flaggy. It's now under the starting to flatten 50 SMA. I don't know. I mean, this thing has been insanely strong overall. However, with that strength comes a lot of volatility. This kind of looks like a bear flag to me. We'll see how it plays. But if it wants to break that and retest the highs, that'd be cool too. Sound. Potential look below and fail here. It's not accepting any lower yet, unless it wants to find supply again at the 20 EMA. So that's a potential downside, but also inside day. Look how tight that is. So another double inside day. TGTX. Dude, this is ridiculous. You know what? I'm just going to go to my red list. I don't have patience for this. I don't know why it's doing it. I'm sorry. All right, SMTC. Accepting lower, right? I'm looking for a break of these lows here for continuation down. This is obviously pretty damn weak. Death cross here. Okay. Gap down, unable to fill. Broke lower here, consolidating. I think this is the first leg, consolidating here, potential second leg. This is one of my favored setups for the week. I'm going to put an alert around that 25 area. AAL, similar bounce here, breaking these lows. There's a lot of supply. The thing is though, over the course of, since January, this thing is sold off nearly 50%. So is now the time to short? Questionable. ALGT, same thing. I do think it wants to tag 39. You know what? I don't like these anymore. So I just, well, no, this is decent. Consolidation, breakdown, retest, continuation downwards. Keep it simple. I think AL is similar. Yeah, breakdown, retest. All right, that's what I'm looking at there. ENPH, consolidation, breakdown, looking for a retest of some sort of level. I'll put a time or an alert at the 20 EMA. I'll also put an alert at the 10. A consolidation, little pump, little break, find some supply, potential continue onwards to the downside because tan looked like crap. So this looks like a lot of supply overhead and could act as potential supply. So even with this undercut and fail to move slower, it couldn't even break these highs. So there's definitely still some supply even with this consolidation. So ENPH, I think I'm going to keep that as a short. Microsoft, I do think this is another potential short. Hitting the 50 SMA, we'll see. I mean, it is breaking this shorter term downtrend line, but you know, a lot of these names I'm looking for some sort of attempt of a double bottom, attempt of a retest. QUBT, this is looking weak, or it was. Consolidation here, another pretty much a double inside day, high 702, 70, 68, 52. Yeah, the same lows. So there's definitely competitive buying if they have the exact same lows of those days. This might pop, but on any pop, I'd be watching for this area for supply. I think that's in SMTC and ENPH. My favorite, MSFT, yeah, SMCI. Ooh, son of a gun. I think I had that there. SMCI, weakness for sure. There, it's too close. Well, no. This could round. Stop loss could go above, 37. It's kind of a huge stop. Huge size down. I'd look for a retest of this and even a potential break of that. Looks okay. LEU, I like this breakdown and retest look. Underneath the 200 SMA, underneath the 10, underneath the 20, all declining. So I do like this as a short. I probably like that the most. We'll see if it actually works out. BE, similar to that. But I think it needs some little bounce in here, maybe to 20-ish first. Or just continues to chop sideways and then break slower. So I'd be curious to see what this does this week as well. NNE, so you can see a lot of energy names, nuclear energy names. Found a little bounce here, right? Hitting the 10 and close to the 20. Want to see if this starts to roll over and wants to continue to the downside. So I do have a little alert there. If it does so, this could march, 1650, 15, and then maybe 11, maybe hitting 6 eventually. I don't know. Trip, another breakdown and retest. I think I liked ENPH better than BE that I did. And I like Trip. Where'd it go? Trip. Breakdown, retest, looking for continuation. There's a lot of supply overhead here, right? All of the MAs are pointing downwards, things like that. Pretty sure, I don't know if people are going to be going on vacation as much this summer. Not sure. Pretty sure that's what TripAdvisor does. It would make sense. Core, again, nice rounding top. I missed this, unfortunately. However, it's bouncing at prior support. If it wants to be a weak bounce, which it did tag, the 20, rejected. If it wants to break lower, then, this could... it already tagged that. Maybe we have a chance of getting down to 40. I would be curious about that. That was a prior breakout area. Oh, missed the wrong spot, sorry. I'd be watching that. So I definitely am biased to the short side. I'm going to take Microsoft, ALGQ, and I'm going to focus on these guys. Breakdowns, retest. Breakdown, retest. Okay. Breakdown, retest. Breakdown, retest. Breakdown. Close to retest, needs a little bit of bounce. break down, creates a lower high, retesting this area here, failed, and looking for some sort of continuation. So those are my favorite on the red list here. Green list, it just is annoying me for loading purposes. I don't know why it's being a pain in the butt. So it's being a pain in the butt. I'm going to leave it at that. Good luck this week. Manage your risk. Have a plan. Don't just go trading all willy-nilly. If you guys have any other thoughts, ideas, comments, collaborations, anything like that. Yum looks interesting. Huge base broke out. Retest here. Okay, TA looks interesting after hitting that. Could be a lower high here. RKLB looks like it's trying to set something up here. I like the undercut, and now it's tagging opposite end range and having another inside day, double inside day. So there's a lot of those going on. You can see, right? Walmart looking strong, hitting the 50 SMA. Wouldn't be shocked if we get some sort of supply there. I broke out here. So I would be looking for the retest of this area of the breakout. TTWO chopping sideways, Tesla potential, with the double inside day. So there's a few double inside days names. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. I didn't organize it, sorry. But just go through this list. Actually, you do what you want. That's what I'm looking at. I am buy short this week. And then my blue list, I'm not going to go over that. This is like neutral, has potential. I don't know which way it's going to go. And I'll flip flop once I get more information on it. Manage your risk. Later. Have a plan.